Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome to Sober Talk, where I celebrate a grand total of 19 years clean and sober. That's right, folks. 19 years clean and sober. So we'll show this coin off pretty regularly throughout the live stream. We're going to be live for about an hour, give or take. But come in, join us, hang with us a little bit. If you can, share it out because we need to hear good news. You know, that it is possible to get sober. Because it is possible. So, everyone make themselves right at home. Sober Talk is a safe place for everyone. All righty. Hi, honey. Welcome to the live stream. That's right. Make yourselves right at home. Sober Talk is a very, we're all inclusive, never exclusive, if you will. All right. Without a question, I try to keep it that way. I like it that way. And that's just the way it is, you know. So, again, make yourselves right at home. Share it out to all your friends. We do like to hear good things. Not enough good news going around, you know. Never enough good news going around. All the ugly stuff we hear on the news. But those of us in Alcoholics Anonymous, we have learned not to try to shoulder the world's problems. We're just not, that isn't just what we do, you know. I mean, yeah, I might dive into the occasional, conspiracy theory, but in reality, you know, it is what it is, you know, the world we live in. So, all righty. Yes, that's right. When I show off this coin, Sober Man actually gave me this coin. It's a 19. For those of you that don't read Roman numerals, okay, this is what 19 years looks like on Roman numerals. Try to turn it where there's not so. There we go. Welcome, Bernard, to the live stream. Thank you guys so much. We're talking about the fact that on February 7th, I made a grand total of 19 years clean and sober as a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. So make yourself right at home. Yeah, Sober Man got me this coin. Yep. You actually, okay, there you go. Villatu, welcome to the live stream. Yeah, you actually, thank you. This is one of those things that not everybody reads Roman numerals, so you gotta, kind of put that out there. But yeah, this is what, so my sponsor, who we call Sober Man, got me this this coin, and from what I remember, this particular style of coin is not that cheap. That's fair. Spirit Wolf Gaming, my brother from another mother from across the pond. Big supporter of me staying clean and sober. And a lot of you have helped me stay clean and sober. A lot of you have, been right there supporting me for a long time. A lot of you have. And I do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. You guys are wonderful folks. So 19 years is possible by a lot of you. Oh, wow. I feel your plight. Okay, most definitely. Hey, Danny, welcome to the live stream. There you go. Showing it off. Sober Man gave this particular one. I'm always used to just the plain brass ones, the plain brass coins, not something like this. Oh, thank you for your sobriety. 7 years. Thank you for your sobriety there, Todd. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for staying sober to help me. Thank you, Danny. Appreciate that. But again, I'm going to tell y'all straight up honest, all right? I'm still a selfish alcoholic. Even though I'm in recovery, you never fully get over alcoholism, okay? Hey, addiction's addiction, okay? I've met many of my fellow members of Alcoholics Anonymous that did both drugs and alcohol. I actually knew one that she not only had to attend Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous, but she was also attending Sexaholics Anonymous, Overeaters Anonymous, and she was actually also involved in a 12-step program for gambling. This poor woman had it tough. Hey, it is what it is, everyone, you hear the joke, everybody's got a vice, and sometimes that vice overtakes our lives, and that sort of thing, so it is what it is. I was a fallen down drunk, for a long time, and well, long enough to, hey, it is what it is, it is what it is. Again, we don't get to do sober talk. Ooh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I know one of those can be cured, and the other one, just be smart about it. I can't tell you how to live, just be careful. It sucks. It is what it is. But here we are, we're celebrating 19 years, and technically I should have, done this live stream sooner, but life happens, and, we had to jockey around the schedule. Technically, I should have done this probably a couple days ago, but, we're here now talking about it, we're here now. Thank you so much, Todd. But remember, okay? Remember, Todd, okay? And I know you're thanking me, but also remember, as you're clapping and pointing your finger, congratulations. Remember, there's some fingers pointing back at you. It takes all of us to keep us sober. It takes all of us, in this whole thing to help us stay sober. So when I say thank you for your sobriety, because 7 years, that's just as important. If anything, 7 years is actually more important than my 19 years, okay? And believe it or not, the people that have less time than you, their time is actually more important than your time. And there's a reason for that. And kind of bear with me a second. When you get a newcomer coming into an AA meeting or even an NA meeting or any 12-step program, when they're coming in for the first time, they hear someone with 19 years and they immediately, that person is unrelatable. I couldn't imagine doing that, they couldn't imagine it. Think about that a second. Okay, you get it, all right? So, imagine it for just a second, okay? That newcomer coming in, life's got them down. They don't know what to do, all right? So here we are now, okay? They're not going to be able to relate to my 19 years, but they can more easily relate to your 7 years. And people that maybe have 6 months, they can relate to them. Or maybe just a couple of months, they can relate to them. Because all of that is still, yeah, we try to keep the pain fresh, what brought us into getting sober. We try to do that, but it's a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? So when I say thank you for your 7 years because it's more important than my 19 years, that's exactly what you need to take to heart. Okay? Because it's more important that, that you stick around even more so than me. Because yeah, I'm now pretty well the old timer. I've been here since I was 26. But your sobriety is that much more important. Okay? It is because it's closer to what the newcomer walking in the door has. Well, thank you so much, Linus. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you so much. It is possible. It is possible to get to, double digit times. It's possible to get long-term sobriety. Now, one of the problems we're having nowadays is some people think it's easier to stay out there, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. I have a few ideas why, but it doesn't really, it's not important to talk about, okay? What is important to talk about is if you're sick and tired of that, life. Aliza, hello, welcome to, I hope I pronounced that right. Elise, I apologize if I butchered your name. I apologize. Some of y'all have very, very interesting names, and it's sometimes difficult for me to understand it, Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. And Danny, yeah, you were right there trying to help me get through some, tough life challenges. You know. Oh, no, I didn't say it right. Oh, I apologize. I tried. But regardless, welcome to the live stream. You know, we're, we're talking about, long-term sobriety. And here I'll go ahead and show it again because this is the prettiest coin I've ever gotten in Alcoholics Anonymous. 19 years. 19 years. So long-term sobriety is obtainable, okay? And we always talk about, this comes up regularly. Oh, my sponsor, who's actually sponsored me off and on for these 19 years, sober, we call him Sober Man to protect his anonymity. The way Alcoholics Anonymous works is, you hear about anonymity. That's fantastic. Oh, yep. Absolutely, absolutely. And people find different ways. Okay, let's get a couple things out of the way. With Alcoholics Anonymous, what we do is pretty special. And Todd, I hope you, even you work in ministry. I hope that you, that Alcoholics Anonymous is very strong where you live, and that you do get to work with Alcoholics Anonymous at some point, or at least are acquainted with us. But at the same time, AA is not the only way to get sober. AA is not the only. I know sometimes other members of Alcoholics Anonymous hate to hear that, but it is true. We are not the only way to get sober. Celebrated Recovery, okay. And Celebrate Recovery, they do it a little bit differently, and I've looked at their program. I'm not a fan, but I've got nothing against them. I mean, the way they do it, they just have their own little way. But you know what? If it's working for somebody, I am the last person to tell anyone how to live, okay? I'm the last person to tell anyone how to live. There are times in my life I don't know how to live. So how can I tell someone else how to live? There it is. It's out in the open, I can't tell some people how to live, okay? Because there's times in my life I'm, 45 years old, and I don't even have all the right answers. But what I can tell you is there is a solution if you have a problem with alcohol, I found it in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, but some people find that solution in other places. I have a great uncle that he went into the Catholic Church and they helped him get sober. If I went into the Catholic Church, I'd have been drunk. Okay, that wouldn't work for me. Okay, but what worked for him? Fantastic. That's wonderful. And he's alive and well today. Been sober for many years, and that's how he did it. He got sober through the church. And it's great that you tell your story. You'll hear us say in Alcoholics Anonymous, we don't give testimony, we just tell our story. What happened, what it was like, what happened, and what we're like now. That's what it is. We tell our story. So maybe someone out there can relate to it. And you don't have to be alcoholic to relate to it. Sometimes hearing how bad it has to get, and maybe it's the catalyst to make you, look at something in your life differently. So my story kind of belongs to a lot of folks out there, a lot of you that come in here, and you guys are fantastic. And again, for the record, not only do I still need Alcoholics Anonymous, I need every last one of you to help me stay sober. I'm still a selfish son of a bitch. I admit it. I'm still selfish. I need all of you too, all of you. At day's end, I still need people to help me stay sober. I still need you guys, Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here, Todd. Big sober hug to you. Starship Cage, Johnny, welcome along to the live stream, brother. A big sobriety hug to all of you, because all of you, whether you knew it or not, have been helping me stay sober. Here you go, Johnny. Check it out. My 19-year sobriety coin. My sponsor got this for me. Stayed sober. It's taken a lot, it takes all of you. I guess you could say it took a community, or should I say it also took the Maverick Nation to help me stay sober. I'm selfish. Over 1,000 subscribers and I'm selfish. Oh, I think that was supposed to be "you're okay, brother." Oh, absolutely. And you guys are awesome. I can't thank y'all enough for being there. Spirit Wolf, he's in the background. I know he's been there with me, talking me through. Absolutely. And my better half, she was there to watch me receive this coin. She was right there to see me get this coin. This was a new experience for her. I don't get out much. Problems other than alcohol, so I don't get out much. It is what it is, I'm grateful for every last one of you guys out there. All of you are very special. I still need you guys at day's end. Sobriety doesn't happen on my own, okay? Left to my own devices, I am programmed to self-destruct. But through the program of Alcoholics Anonymous and wonderful people. Oh, you can't. Oh, okay. Duh. Actually, I'm smack dab in the middle of the United States. Literally almost dead center in the continental U.S. You have to excuse me, sometimes I'm, I'm pretty sharp on most everything, but sometimes I'm not. So I apologize, Johnny. You guys, but again, as I was saying, not only did it take the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, but it's taken all of you too. It's taken all of you, left to my own devices, I am programmed to self-destruct. So it takes all of you, each and every one of you, helping me stay clean and sober. Some of you are a little closer to my inner circle. Some of you, I'm doing fantastic. I mean, I had some tough stuff today, but you know what? I'm okay. At day's end, if I can still say thank you to the higher power of my understanding and go to bed sober, it was a successful day. Okay? So I'm good because right now I'm still sober. And I have wonderful people all around me helping me stay sober. You know, that is, that's just, you know, it's just like, like a French chef, it's beautiful, okay? Because tomorrow when I get up, I don't have to figure out what I did in the middle of a blackout, okay? I don't have to worry about the lies that I told. You guys, I don't have to worry if I got a DWI. Right, absolutely. Oh, talking to the better half. Well, regardless, I still need to tell y'all, you know. Um, you know, Today is a good day. You're still, now you're splitting hairs, okay? Really? Just, let's worry about the one that's gonna kill me, all right? I do the social, nicotine and coffee. Chocolate, too. I like my chocolate. And I like to be a workaholic, It is what it is, You need to be a little bit more specific on that. I don't do illicit drugs, and that's a whole nother subject. That's going to be one that definitely deserves its own video. And that's going to be a hard one to do because there's a lot of area that I have to jump through because I don't want to lose some people. Because that's a tough one. Spirit Wolf, you actually bring up a good subject that we're definitely going to have. Thank you for doing that. That's definitely going to have to come up in another Sober Talk. Yeah. Jessica Miller, welcome to the live stream. But it's one of those things. It's kind of a tough area to actually talk about. But there's actually, some people who are very much, that there's some areas that we're. Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for bringing that up. And again, welcome along, Jonathan. Oh, chocolate. Yeah, that's a tough one there. That's a funny thing. Chocolate, actually, really quick, there's actually a spot that they talk about chocolate in the Alcoholics Anonymous book. They actually talk about, I think it's like 134, if I remember correctly. Oh, it starts on one. It's good to see you. One of many doctors who had the opportunity of reading this book in manuscript form told us that the use of sweets was often helpful, of course, depending on the doctor's advice. Not having chocolate. See how to do that? Well, yeah, you can do that. All right, where was I? One of the many doctors who had the opportunity to read this book in manuscript form told us that the use of sweets was often helpful, of course, depending upon the doctor's advice. He thought all alcoholics should have should constantly have chocolate available for its quick energy value at times of fatigue. He added that occasionally in the night a vague craving arose which would be satisfied by candy. Many of us have noticed a tendency to eat sweets and have found this practice to be beneficial. So that's actually in the AA Big Book, but we do actually understand why scientifically. So bear in mind, I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV, all right? Because some of you might be watching me on your big screen at home. So alcohol is loaded with tons of sugar. So a lot of times when many of us get sober, we have a tendency to eat a lot of sweets. It's also not uncommon that many of us discover that we're actually diabetic when we get sober, that we suffer from problems of hypoglycemia. So myself included, I actually struggle with hypoglycemia. Now, I've managed to keep it at bay, eating a proper diet, but I do find that I have a sweet tooth like. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Welcome again to the live stream. Here, I'll go ahead and show off the coin again. Very proud of this. My AA sponsor, good old Sober Man, got me this one. Turn it so you can see the Roman numerals. There you go. Very proud of that. Again, this is the prettiest one I've ever gotten, Prettiest one I've ever gotten. I'm used to the old brass ones, and you guys have seen me show those off for years, the brass ones. And yes, I still got what we refer to as the cursed 2-year coin. Yes, I still have it. Thank you so much for that, Johnny. Starship Cage, yeah, that's old Johnny. He's an awesome guy. Not at all. No, it's not prettier than my partner, and it's not prettier than my brother from another mother from across the pond. But this is a coin out of all the sobriety coins I've gotten. And, Soberman was actually talking about that. I said, I looked at this right in the middle of the meeting. I said, dang, this is the nicest one I've ever gotten, Dang, I'm used to the old brass ones. And he started laughing. He said this was too special not to get you a really nice one. These aren't cheap. These, the style. And I remember when I started seeing these pop up, I was maybe a little over a year sober, and I was at this store up in St. Louis. They actually sold. They sold AA books even though they weren't affiliated. I mean, they were loosely affiliated with AA, and literally the place was called the Sober Camel. My computer does not like Fortnite. They have literally stacked it up where PC just does not work well with Fortnite. It is what it is. That's why I haven't been playing, so that's why I've been on Star Trek or Minecraft or playing emulator, doing the retro games. Yeah, it's just something about the way that... and this definitely also deserves its own video of its own, but PC players deal a lot from, some of those game companies just do not pay attention to PC players, and a lot of it has to do with, but that's a subject for another time. It is what it is. But again, here we are, we're, celebrating the fact that, you wish. Hey, I pumped out a lot of episodes in a short amount of time. It is what it is. And we all know why. Where I was living was just tough to put out videos. It was just tough. But here we are, we're talking, 19 years clean and sober. And, you know, uh, again, it's taken all of you. When I started, really doing videos on YouTube, I think I was like 8 years sober at that time, and it, for those that don't know, I got sober February 7th, 2006. I was 26 years old, going into Alcoholics Anonymous for the first time. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. That's what's up. Relax and then on. Free. Yeah. So here it is, all this time later, here we are. We're talking, I got sober at the age of 26. Now, believe it or not, I'm not the youngest one I've ever met to get sober. True story. I was in an online AA chat room, and talking with other members of Alcoholics Anonymous, and there was a story going around how there was actually a woman in the program, and this story is actually in a pamphlet. Fair enough. Fair enough. But some games I just can't, which I'm dying for the weather to break and money to come in, because I'm ready to get back to car content. That's really where I'm most happy. But anyhow, so here we are. I get sober at the age of 26. And again, I actually met a woman that got sober at the age of 14. Had really got into alcoholism and in over her head and needed help by the age of 12. Oh, wow. I don't know. Sounds like fun. So at the age of 12, she got sober. And, well, I'm sorry, she got in over her head, and at the age of 14, she gets into Alcoholics Anonymous. So and a lot of people have a hard time understanding this. Alcoholism is a full-on disease. Now, there are going to be some people that will say, that alcoholism, some people try to say, well, it's a matter of willpower for some, okay? For some it is. I've seen people get sober when their other half tells them enough's enough, I'm done with your shit, okay? I've seen them get sober. And those are used to be alcoholics, okay? This is what I'm talking about. Oh, no, I love playing STO. I love playing STO. I love playing STO with you. I have a lot of fun. We do. We have a great time. Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you for coming in, Johnny. Appreciate you. Big sober hug to you. So I actually had a chance to talk with this person, and just an amazing story. And when I first had the opportunity to talk to her, and this has been like, I want to say it was like 10 years ago, maybe a little longer than that, but it was over 10 years ago, and she was already 55 years old and had been sober the entire time. And, I was like, I thought I was interesting coming in at the age of 26. I've read your story in one of our pamphlets, one of the pamphlets from Alcoholics Anonymous. And she's like, oh, yeah, they asked for my story years ago. And, just a phenomenal story. You know, just an amazing, amazing person. And I had nothing but, you know, I hope she's still clean and sober today. I hope she's doing fantastic. If she ever sees this, thank you for everything you imparted to me. I hung on to it. I hung on to it. You know, and that's the awesome thing about this. You know, I didn't get sober on my own. I don't stay sober on my own. It's all of you still continuing to show your love and support. And, you know, you guys prop me up big time. Prop me up, you know. You know, you guys are awesome. I still need you guys, you know. And that's the awesome thing about Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, there is talk that that now that things are slowly kind of, well, we got a few more things we got to deal with yet, but as things kind of wind down, we're going to be getting back into doing sober talk. Yeah, that's a thing, sober talk, more often, where we come in and we'll read the big book to get, you know, and we'll kind of go over what I learned out of it. You know, even if you're not alcoholic, maybe you know somebody who's alcoholic, maybe, you know, and they're still struggling to get sober and all that other stuff. You know, there's still something to be taken away from it. And hopefully what I'm able to impart will be there to help somebody. And you don't have to be alcoholic to get something out of that book. Or at least the kind words, because, I mean, at day's end, you know, that's what it's all about. You know, it's about helping people. I remember what Sober Man told me a long time ago. He says to me, Prince Magnum, there are, you know, yes, there's alcoholics out there struggling. There's addicts out there struggling. And, you know, but the book doesn't say who to help. So you don't just help them. You try to help everyone. You try to be there for them. And, you know, help them to the best of your ability, because, you know, the big book isn't specific on that. So I want you to go out there into the world and help as many people as you possibly can. I try my best. Again, problems other than alcohol. But, you know, sometimes that's what we do here on this channel. We try to put positive stuff out there, or, you know, say what needs to be said, so maybe it might help somebody. Because at day's end, you know, it's not just about me anymore. It's about the world around me. You know, it's about reaching out and helping people to the best of my ability. I may not have a lot to give, but what I've got to give is a lot to me. You know? And that should speak volumes over, you know, anything else. You know, what's the best gift you can give somebody? Hope. You know, it's one of the best gifts you can give somebody is hope. A little bit of love goes a long ways too. You know? And that, you know, that's sometimes all we got, you know? A little bit of hope and a whole lot of love. You know? And that's, again, there we go. You know, again, that's just as important, you know. So that's why you hear me a lot of times say to you guys, you know, you guys are important, you know. And we try to, you know, I try to remember, you know, no matter what's going on, positive vibes all the way through and through, you know. You guys are just as important as the members of other members of Alcoholics Anonymous. All of you are important to me. Hey, I get it, you know. You know, Sober Man once said, you know, we always hear that term, forgive and forget, forgive and forget. And sometimes that just, you know, that doesn't work that way. You forgive and you remember, okay? You know, you forget, you know, you forgive and you remember. Now, why would he say that? Because if you remember, it won't happen again. Or you shouldn't let it happen again. You know what to look for. Okay? So I don't think that's wrong. I don't think that's wrong at all. If anything, I totally understand exactly where you're coming from. You know, I totally get it. You know, the positive, strong vibes that, I mean, you and I've talked a lot, brother. You know, you've gotten me through some really tough shit. You know, we've gotten through a lot of tough shit together. You know, we've talked each other through a lot. And believe me, let me tell y'all a little something. Spirit Wolf Gaming, Spirit Wolf and I have, he's talked me through a lot of crazy stuff, and I've been there, with him through a lot of goofy ass shit. And I'll tell you right now, you want to talk about a guy that, if you don't do him dirty, I mean, he's right there. He'll help, I mean, just a good guy through and through. And, sometimes I don't always understand, his thinking, but you know what? I don't have to understand it. As long as he understands it, that's all that matters, That's all that matters. And, there's times that, I have to, that there's been times in my life I've had to lean on him very heavy because I was just going through a lot of tough stuff. And believe me, that man propped me up through a lot of tough shit, Absolutely. Absolutely. And from the bottom of my heart, he's one of the, one of the people who's actually helped me, stay sober for a long time. He's been one of the people that I've talked to, he's been there for me, and and again, he knows the problems other than alcohol that I deal with. He's gotten me through that too, he's gotten me through that too, through a lot of tough stuff. Can't thank him enough, He's an amazing friend, and he's like a brother to me, He's part of this family, that's for sure. Why do you think I dedicated a spot on the Minecraft world to him, Shoot, some days even with health, I'm still lost. That's just life, That's just life. But we have a good time. We get through a lot of crazy shit. And, and I still talk to sober man, which I got to call him and talk to him, let him know I'm okay. I'm still hanging in there. I'm still above ground. You guys, I can't stress that enough. You hear me talk really quick. This doesn't get talked about enough, and sometimes I think people get it confused here on the channel too. When I talk about a higher power, a God of my understanding, I don't talk religion. I'm not a religious person per se. Okay, I have my religious beliefs, but when we get talking about Alcoholics Anonymous, I keep my religion out. We'll be lost together, brother. We'll be lost together. It's all good. But you kind of picture this for a moment, if you will. Alcoholics Anonymous, we don't talk religion. We talk spirituality. Now, there's actually a difference between the two. And I'm going to do my best to again explain this, okay? Religion's a group of people who believe in God along similar lines, okay? They have, set ways they do things, and that's how they do it, okay? That's the way it works. Spirituality is your own personal relationship with the God of your understanding or higher power, however you want to look at it, all right? Now, in Alcoholics Anonymous, that higher power could be, I've seen atheists have a higher power and still get the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, still get the spiritual side of it all without ever crossing the line of hurting their atheist beliefs. That's just how it works. God can be an acronym for some people. Good orderly direction from good old drunks. All right? Because you can rest assured that the groups in Alcoholics Anonymous have figured out how to stay sober. Okay? That's kind of where it falls into place. All right? There's something that they have figured out that helps us stay sober. All right? So there's plenty of room for that. And it could even be something right down to the spirit of friendship, the spirit of fellowship, someone being there, feeling, there could be, psychologists have, put many words to it. I'm not a psychologist, and I don't even play one on TV, so I'm not even going to try to explain that, but I just know what works. Now, again, AA doesn't corner the market on people getting sober, but I do know there's something special that happens in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous. Okay? So y'all are, so again, I don't talk religion in, never trust a psychiatrist. Unfortunately, I have to right now, or otherwise I don't sleep anymore. It is what it is, that's the reality of it, all right? And, today I'm still sober, but it's good people helping me stay sober. It's, I don't do it alone. At day's end, I still need all of you, every last one of you out there. Any one of you, if you're even watching this on the playback, I still need you guys too. I need every one of you. You all are very important to me in helping me stay sober. Even after all this time, alcoholism is still alive and well. Even though I don't drink, the disease is still there. There's a whole mindset that comes with being an alcoholic. So I still need you guys at day's end too. 19 years, that disease is still alive and well. It used to be about 100,000 times a day I would still think about drinking. Now I'm down to about 10,000. That's the reality of it. This disease still works on me even after all this time. But with a higher power of my understanding, Alcoholics Anonymous, and loving people just like all of you out there, that's how I've been able to do it. Really, here we go again. For the record, co-founder Bill W. was still a smoker all the way to his death in 1971. I think it was 71. Which I actually have a friend that was actually at a convention one of the last times that co-founder Bill W. spoke at. She got sober in like 1966. That is awesome. Amazing woman, fantastic. She is one of those people that I look up to. She's amazing gal. Some of the stories she's told in meetings, I just like, wow, I couldn't imagine. I just could not imagine, what it was like, for you back in those days. And, it is what it is. And for the record, this is nicotine here. Actually, for those that are wondering, I maybe have a cigarette a week now, really. I only have a cigarette a week because vaping is pretty much all I do. And even then, I'm still backing off of that a little by little. Currently, right now, in my vape, I actually have a particular flavor called Lola from Silverback. And it's a blended fruity mix. I don't usually go for fruity sort of stuff, but when I was still working the vape shop, I got curious about it. I thought, well, I'll give it a try and see what I think, because it did sound pretty good. And it's strawberry, banana, dragon fruit, and it's amazing. It got an amazing flavor to it. My personal favorite is funnel cake from Sad Boy. It's really good stuff. I really like that particular flavor. Um, you know, so yeah, even now I'm still working on even getting away from that. And of course, the only other nasty habit I've got is drinking way too much coffee. But let's continue working at one thing at a time. To me, it's become objectionable enough where maybe I just shouldn't be doing nicotine at all. I mean, I'm 45 years old and I've got, a daughter slowly getting ready to turn 9 months old. And I'd like to be here, to one day walk her down the aisle. You know, that's kind of where I'm at on this. So in that reality, I've got no choice but to, to try to continue to try to do the right thing. And I think all of you can appreciate that, one small, more small steps at a time. Here we are, trying to get through this. Smoking's been the hardest thing for me to try to quit. Smoking, nicotine has been the hardest thing for me to try to quit. I'm not going to deny it. That and coffee. Again, it is what it is, especially when I go to make a really nice iced coffee. That it gets really hard. That is true. Okay. And I can actually, you have a point. Okay. Warning labels are not allowed to lie here in the United States. That is by law, and these companies are regulated by the FDA. Now, granted, not everything by the FDA I, go along with, but this is pharmaceutical grade. And again, even there, I still don't always fully trust. But I do kind of, some of these companies, lesser known companies I won't trust, but more name brand companies, kind of like this one, I will, because, they're more likely to be scrutinized. They're under a microscope a little bit more, if you catch my meaning. So in that regard, and this definitely, again, deserves its own video. Baba Booey. Well, Baba, welcome to the live stream. I apologize. I see your name, and I see it in blue. I'm assuming that, you're a longtime member, and you've changed your name at some point. You don't have to give away, obviously, but who do I have the pleasure of joining us? I apologize. Oh, son, welcome to the live stream. Okay, son. Well, here you go. For those that do not know, that's my 17-year-old son. Here you are. "19 years. One of the first of my children that never seen me drink. First of my children. Oh goodness. Oh. It's been an interesting road, to say the least. And the reality of it is sobriety is simple. It isn't easy. There's been quite a few times I have thought about going back to it. Over the years, I've thought about going back to the world, going back to that life. But when you're done with that life, you'll do what's necessary to get sober. And something had to change, and that's what had to change. Alcohol is just a symptom of the problem. I had to change. And again, with good folks here, you know. True story. My son there, he was actually at the very meeting where I made 2 years sober. Got my 2-year coin. He was there. When I was talking, you know, when I've been an AA speaker, he's been there numerous times when I've been an AA speaker, long before I even made 10 years. He's too young to remember, but he was there. I was going through some stuff and in a meeting, talking about it, falling apart, talking about it. Oh, you actually remember some of those meetings. True story. For a while, I was a single dad, and I was at a meeting talking about the difficulties of having to kind of take over, and I fell apart, literally talking about it. Some of the things that kind of, you know, came into play, and you know, that one day, you know, my son and I will have to sit down and talk about. We'll have to sit down and talk about it. But as I'm kind of falling apart in this meeting, and I'm just crying my eyes out and everything, he reaches over and pats me on the shoulder. And, you know, he wasn't even about 1.5 years old at that time. No, a little bit younger than that. Just a little over 1 year old. And that was huge. He was a little over 1 year old. And then at that time, I was with a different gal, and you know, he was sitting on her lap, and he reaches over and pats me on the shoulder. And that was big. You know, Dad was able to stay sober through that tough transition. You know, you've never seen me drunk, and that's important to me. Your oldest 2 sisters did. And they say don't regret it, because everything you went through makes you who you are today. It's just the one thing that I kind of wished your sisters never would have seen that. Wow, you actually remember that? Dang, son, my memory's good, but it ain't that good. And you actually remember that far back? Dang. Wow. That's good stuff. But yeah. So, you know, you know, that's the one thing I wished your sisters would have never seen, but they seen it. And they seen me at my worst. Thankfully, you know, since those days, you know, we went through a lot, but it's going to get more interesting as time goes on, because the longer you stay sober, the more things get in, you know. Wow. Well, I mean, it is what it is. And I remember you telling me stuff that you remembered, and I'm like, you're way too young to remember. How the hell did you remember that? But it is what it is. You know, I remember that I started remembering things at the age of 3, and, you know, it just goes to show, you know, everybody develops differently, but yeah. And the fact that you're here now to see me, you know, clean and sober 19 years, that's awesome stuff. You know, here we are, you know, talking about, you know, this blessing we call sobriety that happened to me. You know, true story. And then we got to wind it down, because, you know, I want to see Princess Star Song before she has to go to work for a little while tonight, and talk about it. But here's the thing, you know, when I got sober, I was one of 10 people that came in about a 3 to 4 month time period. Some of these people were coming back in after being back out for a while. There was actually a couple of them that one guy was getting sober for the first time, and he had maybe 3 months more than me. There was another guy who had had years, went back out, and here he was making his way back in. There's actually a friend of mine, a real close friend of mine. I even dated this girl for a little while. I still talk to her daughter, and passed away probably about 6 years ago. And her mom had 3 months more than me, so it was like a big influx of newcomers in this area that happened around that time. Son, for you, that is you weren't even thought of yet. Okay, you weren't even thought of yet. So that should kind of give you a little context. And I was one of the last few that came in. Now, of those 10 people, some of us stayed sober for a while. But I know one guy landed in prison. He's still there. The last I heard, he's in prison he'll be there for at least another 10 years. Son, your little sister's listening too. Flame is probably listening, your stepbrother. Good portion of the family's here right now. And here we are, of course, one of us had to have a heart attack. My friend that had 3 months, and those other guys I haven't heard. I don't know where they're at. A lot of us are dead. A lot of us are dead. And of that 10, last man standing. So they say that 1 in 10 make it. I was the one. I don't know why I was chosen as that one. I don't know. I don't try to read into that. Whatever that reason is why I was the one that made it, it is what it is. I didn't have to go back out and do it all over again. All I know is that I'm here and now. And believe me when I say, that I'm still grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be sober. And again, I have all of you, whether you're watching this live right now or you're watching the playback, it's all of you that help me stay sober. Millions of members of Alcoholics Anonymous around the world, and over 1,000 of you in the Maverick Nation. I am still a selfish son of a bitch because I need every last one of you. Every last one of you. It takes all of you to help me stay sober. And that should tell you how. So if you've been feeling low today, feeling down in the dumps, whatever, don't feel like you amount to much. Maybe you don't know. Whatever it is that's on your plate right now, I don't have to know. I don't have to know. It's not necessary. But what you need to know is just by you being here right now, even if you didn't say a word, just by you being here has helped me stay sober. And even if it's just for today, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for helping me stay sober, even if it is just for today. You guys are important, whether you knew it or not, just by being here with me. And that should speak volumes over anything. And son, I'm always there for you. And no matter whatever has ever happened, I love you more than you'll ever imagine. I love all of you kids. kids are important to me. I have a grand total of 6 biological and 1 that was wonderfully given to me. And all of you, all 7 of you are important to me. I need you kids are important to me. At day's end, I hope I make all of you proud. You guys are important to me too. Again, I'm still a selfish man. Hey, it's the little things in life, or in this case, the big things in life, And who says you don't raise a stink? Oh, man. We have a lot of fun in Sober Talk, too. Right? We have a lot of fun in Sober Talk, and oh, man. You guys are awesome. But it is that time. It is that time where I do need to wind it down. Now in Sober Talk, we don't do the usual ad stuff at the end. But what I do like to do is I do like to let out in a very special way. And then I only do it this way in Sober Talk because it feels right. Okay? At day's end, I hope all of you still need me as much as I need you. All of you. I hope you need me as much as I still need all of you. And above all, if no one has told any of you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.